Okay, this is Michael Kerr. I'm with the Oscar Grant Committee, and it's Saturday, 2020, August 22nd, around 6 o'clock or so in the evening. And I'm interviewing Kathryn Wade. She's the mother of Malad Baldwin, and she's going to talk about several issues, but the incidents that happened. And so we're going to start with the first one when she did a 5150 call on Malad. Okay, go ahead, Kathryn, now.
Hi. Yes, Friday before the Tuesday of the incident with Malad at the Department of Motor Vehicle in Pittsburgh, California, I called because my son was talking about my mom who's deceased. She passed away last year in February. And he was displaying statements and characteristics that he really, needed more support than I can aid him and his care provider. So I attempted to call 5150. The call was not, for someone, it just didn't display someone that needed a 5150. Basically, they were saying other things as if he was a criminal. Is he hurting anybody, or is he doing this and that? So
This is the 911
the
operator?
911 dispatch called. So I eventually, got officers to my house, and two officers showed up, and it was Officer Cawley, and I don't remember the other officer's name. But when I looked outside, and I said in my mind, I knew this person, and I kept looking at him, and it was like a ghost from my past, right? And I said, Cawley, I said, what are you doing at my house? And he put his hands on his holster thing and said, where's Malad? And I said, what you mean? You beat my son 2014. I said, you're the reason why he's mentally ill. What are you doing here? I'm the street sergeant, is what he said. So I said, let me get my phone. So I started saying some things to him. And then they just turned around, him and the other officer. He said what he said to the other officer, and they just walked away. They started walking, to the left toward the hill. And he just really triggered me. Because if you and I had an incident where you beat me or I beat you, and if it went into the legal system, the courts, there would be a restraining order. That would be a conflict of interest of you coming back around me. When you have beat my son and you made all these false allegations about my son, where he had to fight a criminal case and go through all of these different things, being in jail for something that you lied about on the police report. So it really triggered me. And I just started talking to him and crying and stuff, and they just was walking off.
So they never talked to him a lot?
They never talked to Malad. They never called the ambulance. The other officer, no one wrote the 5150 for Malad that day. And, me being fearful of Officer Cawley from what I saw him beating my son and cursing me out, lying on police reports, having to see my son go through all that he had gone through back then, for this person to show up at my house because he has the authority to do whatever he wants to do and traumatize me and my son over again. My son ran and hid, and he didn't get the medical attention he needed that day.
Oh, so nobody did anything for Malad that day?
No, they did not.
Okay. And but do you have a police report on this, or?
No, I have not went down there to request the incident report or the call or anything yet, because Tuesday, the next week, my son went back to the DMV to get his license. He had already been there before. And
Okay, now, this is before that incident?
right.
Okay.
And Malad wasn't like erratical or confrontational, nothing like that. But I knew he displayed.
And
from
what
my
day was
training.
this? What day was this? All right.
Friday?
Okay. Okay, is this the same day?
No, but I'm saying Friday.
Uh-huh.
The emotions and the things that he expressed to me, I knew that it was time to get my son help. And I know the only help that you can get is calling 911 to get the police to write a 5150 and or a clinician. But during the corona, I wouldn't be able to take him to the hospital and just say this and that and get things documented like it should have been. So that's why I called 911 so they can do what they need to do to get my son to the proper care that he needed at that time. So Tuesday coming up.
Okay, Tuesday now. This
Right.
is the...
This is the Department of Motor Vehicle event.
Okay.
My son went to the Department of Motor Vehicle. I was not there. I do not know what happened there because I was not there.
Why was he there?
He went to get his ID,
His ID.
license, his driver's license. You know, we lost everything in the fire.
Oh.
So,
Was he escorted by anybody, or was he on his own?
no, he went on his own.
Okay.
He went on his own because, you know, he's becoming more independent and trying to get himself where he can be in society more. That's, you know, what we're working toward with him. And, you know, let me tell you something. I don't want this to sound like a person that's mentally ill, because, you know, we all suffer from things. And I don't want it to seem like Malad was just so confrontational. He was out of his mind that he went to the DMV. I called Friday and Tuesday he went and this incident happened because it didn't happen that way.
Well, you explain.
Okay.
You've got some
Right.
training in this field.
Right, yes, that's my
Right.
background.
Could you-
I worked in that field for many years.
Okay. And where was that? What were you doing?
I worked for Contra Costa County Mental Health. I started at the psych ward, and then I got promoted to Mental Health Administration Office for Consumer Empowerment. And I was one of the instructors and the writers for the SPIRIT program that's at Contra Costa College, which means Service Provider Individualized Recovery Intensive Training. So, dealing with my son after the 2014 incident where he was a victim of police brutality, you know, it gave me a different outlook on polices and the mental ill population, because I've heard many stories of clients expressing to me what the police have done to them, and I've even watched on the TV and different social medias where the police have mistreated and or murdered people with mental illness. So I'm well versed in that area, and my son was not displaying any type of confrontation. He was not combative. He was not delusional. We basically were trying to, you know, do some things so that we can move forward with our lives. You know what I'm saying? With his independence. So when Tuesday came about,
How did he get to the DMV?
I don't know. I have not asked him that. But I do know this.
He doesn't drive, right?
He has a driver's license, but he doesn't have it, so he wouldn't have drove without a driver's license.
Correct.
Because I teach my children to do the right thing. There are consequences when you do the right things and or when you do the wrong things. But if you do the right things, you know, you can cover yourself more if something happens versus doing the wrong thing.
Okay.
So
you weren't at the DMV, but can you tell what you've learned and heard from other people?
that day, I started getting telephone calls from different numbers, and I started, my son called me. He said, "Mom, I have some bad news." And I said, "What?" He said, "Malad is not dead, but Malad is in jail for stabbing somebody at the DMV line
Which son is this?
3 times.
Is this-
My son, Lawrence.
Lawrence, okay.
And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Mama, I don't know, but people called me and told me that." And it didn't sound right about my son, Malad. You know, I have 6 children, and I have 13 grandchildren and 1 step-grandchild. And you cannot tell me that I don't know, you know, my children and grandchildren, because I've instilled teachings in them to do the right thing. Tell the truth the first time, you don't have to tell nothing else. So, got the calls, other people started calling me, and then I got the texts from the Pittsburgh Police Department report and or another social media newspaper report. So I read it. I laid down, I tossed and turned, and Malad was calling me, other people calling, he kept calling me, I didn't answer, and I finally, God said, "Answer that phone," and I answered it. And I said, "Malad, based on what I read and feeling for the victim," I said, "you threw your nails up," because this is what my mother would tell me. They landed on your bed and you lay on them. That's all I said. I didn't answer. My son kept calling me. I didn't answer. I tossed and turned all night. It was like the pit of
Where's
my-
your son calling you from?
He was calling me from jail.
From jail.
It was like the pit of my soul was not at rest because I knew something was not right. But I did not want to listen to Malad because I'm going by what the police report said, the people said, and that other report that somebody sent me said. So
And what had the report said? That you, at that point, what did you
to summarize it
think
up,
that
it said
happened?
at the DMV in Pittsburgh, about 12 something in the afternoon, a patron was there to take care of his DMV business. An altercation started, and Malad Baldwin stabbed that person 3 times in the neck. Malad, an Antioch transient, was later found, and he was given a free ride to county jail. So,
Okay. So they described him as a transient, you know, even though they know him very well and they know he lives here at your home. Is that correct?
yes.
Yeah.
But Mike, let me just say this off the record, and it could go in the video.
Oh, well, if it's
My
okay.
encounter with the Antioch Police Department in 2014 with my son, and the other times that Antioch police have victimized and beat my son, and then I've been victimized by the Antioch PD, and with the reports that I have from those approaches and victimization, they don't match up. They do not match up. And me as a citizen here, fighting and campaigning for Diana Becton, the deputy district attorney that said she was going to look into these matters, I need to see some justice for my son.
Okay.
The next day going to the DMV,
Oh,
Lacey,
okay.
Lacey Brown.
Okay, hold on.